We're going to move on. We're going to talk about Gary Lineker and ask you if you're going to be missing him on Match of the Day. The presenter has hosted his final episode, delivering a very emotional goodbye.
It's been an absolute privilege to have hosted Match of the Day for a quarter of a century. It's been utterly joyous. I'd like to wish Gabby, Mark and Kelly all the very best when they sit in this chair. The programme is in the best of hands. And my final thank you goes to all of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your love and support over the years. It's been so special, and I'm sorry that your team was always on last. Time to say goodbye. Goodbye.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well done.
Just about kept it together, didn't he? Nearly lost it there. Lineker left the BBC earlier than planned after he faced a backlash for reposting a video from a Palestine lobby group featuring the image of a rat. The rat has historically been used as an anti-Semitic insult. Lineker apologised, said he'd been unaware of the reference. Those are the reasons surrounding why he's gone. Is it possible, Lynn, to subtract his career as a broadcaster, his presence in our lives from that? Can you subtract them, or are they always going to be interlinked?
Firstly, I'd say I would have liked to see him go on his own terms, not embroiled in this anti-Semitic conversation. I think majority of people know he is not anti-Semitic as an individual. I don't think anybody is allowed grace when it comes to this area of conversation, and I think it's about intention. I don't agree with a lot of the things that Gary Lineker says, and I do understand when people say that he should be, he shouldn't have a bias politically, but I would say that should be local politics. He shouldn't outwardly support Labour or Conservative or anything of that. But when it comes to international conflict where we are seeing thousands of children being burnt alive, this is not about politics. This is about speaking up against what is wrong.
OK, Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that clip there showed us really why people find him so threatening, why people on the right wing of politics and people who support Israel find him so threatening, because he's just so clearly a very charismatic, nice-seeming guy. That goodbye where he seems sort of very emotional to be stepping down after 25 years is very difficult not to empathise.
He connects directly with the viewer, doesn't he? Which is quite a rare thing. Listen, welcome back to the show with Lynn and Michael. We're going to go straight, though, back to whether you're going to miss Gary Lineker and whether, now that he's left Match of the Day, I just wonder, guys, that presence that he has in our lives. There aren't many broadcasters left like that, are there, Michael?
No, absolutely not. And as I say, that's why I think the right was so infuriated by him, because what he showed is that if you're a nice, engaging guy, you're probably going to find kids getting bombed upsetting, right? And that's basically what he said. And then all these people who support Israel were like, this is outrageous. How can this guy who hosts the football have an opinion on kids getting killed? Well, he has an opinion on kids getting killed because he's a nice guy.
Yeah, but then as a national broadcaster, do you not just have to take the hit and put that in your back pocket and keep your opinions to yourself? Because it feels like there are plenty of opinions. Lots of people have opinions. Lots of people are saying these things. Do you not just have to stow that?
I think a view on, like we said, children in real time, we're watching them being killed. It's not about an opinion, it's about right and wrong. And I think this has left the conversation of, political view. If you have a humane bone in your body, you should be able to say, this is wrong, and you should be able to listen to someone say this is wrong and kind of relate to that.
OK, let's take a call. Elaine's in Manchester. Elaine, are you going to miss Gary?
Very much. Very, very much. I think he's absolutely great. He was a marvellous footballer and the show was fantastic. The point I'd like to make is that the BBC, to me, have been wanting to get rid of him for a long time. So they've finally managed it now. And when they bring this show back, there's going to be two ladies doing it. Gabby Logan is on everything. I think she's a great person, but she's on everything. And the thing is, as soon as there's a woman on, the banter between the male footballers, pundits that are on the show, doesn't happen.
I agree.
Well,
and therefore, the show does not have that entertainment element.
But that banter, doesn't that exclude some people? Sometimes it can feel like a bit of a club. And isn't it
No,
quite nice
I don't think so.
to
I don't
break
think
that
so.
up? I mean,
I don't think it is. I think it's really good banter. It makes you laugh. I think the BBC have made a big mistake. Mark Chapman is great, and I really like him. But as soon as you introduce women to that show, it will be ruined, in my opinion.
I just wonder whether it's going to make it more accessible to women as well. So, Kelly Cates is like, nobody knows more about the game than Kelly Cates.
I've watched it. I've watched it for years and years and years. The show's accessible to women. What I'm saying is, once that banter doesn't happen, and believe you me, it doesn't, then the entertainment value of the show's gone.
Will you stop watching, Elaine?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Point well made.
As soon as Mark Chapman's on it, I'll watch it.
Okay.
But the rest of it, no, because it will not be the same. And I really miss Gary. I think he's a great guy. And as far as I'm concerned, he's got really good morals. He took in refugees. And, I just think he's a great guy. And
Elaine, listen, thank you so much for your call. I was lucky enough to spend a Saturday on Match of the Day at the beginning of this season, and my goodness, what a team. Do they care about the viewer? Do they care about football? Not a shadow of a doubt they do. Absolutely. Let's take a call. George is in Shropshire. Do you think you're going to miss Gary Lineker on Match of the Day, George?
No, most definitely not.
Why?
He's overpaid, and whilst he's a brilliant pundit, there are plenty of people that can replace him, and he has a right to his opinions, but not via that programme. He should do that by speaking to a newspaper or something. He shouldn't use his prime position to be political.
Isn't he? He's a football pundit. Isn't that quite separate from the opinions he has about geopolitics and what's happening in the world?
Absolutely, and that's why he shouldn't use that sort of label that he's under with football pundit to be talking about politics. He's not been elected by anybody.
He never did use that platform, though. If he'd gone on Match of the Day and said, as his sign-off, and by the way, I think the war on the children of Gaza is terrible, you'd have a point. But he said that in tweets. He said that on Instagram. He said that in newspapers, in interviews with newspapers. He never used his platform as a football pundit to say that.
He used it knowing he had a following through the programme.
What's wrong with
Match of the
that?
Day.
We're going to, unfortunately, we have to leave it there. We were never going to resolve it, let's face fact. But yes, as a football fan, I will miss you, Gary. Thank you, George, for your call. We'll miss you too. Thanks for all of your calls. Vanessa is up next with a fantastic show. What's happening, Vanessa? What's on its way?